Welcome to the Psych Gym. I'm your trainer, Vanessa Perry, a former mental health therapist turned intuitive counselor. Much like a physical gym, in this space we'll aim to target specific psychological muscles and train them to be stronger. I'm so glad you are joining this gym. Let's hit the weights. Welcome back to the Psych Gym. This episode is actually being bumped up. I recorded one other episode that I had planned to release, and I kind of don't love it. I'm not sure why I don't love it. I might re-record it, but then I was sitting and I said, well, what do I want to talk about instead? And those of you who have followed me for any period of time, you know that I really love to bring the realness to this space or to my online space or to my presence. I will share the things that I'm going through very often so that you can see kind of the process. I think that a lot of times people who are putting their stuff out there are putting out I'm done healing, and so here's how I did it. And sometimes you forget stuff in there, right? Like you forget the difficulty or a lot of the difficulties that you go through when you're moving through something. So I'm not super transparent because I just feel like it's a lot, but I try to bring energy. I believe in energy. I believe that if I am trying to connect with you on a certain level, that it's going to be easier for me to do that if my heart is on that frequency while I'm recording it. And I know, some of you might be like, what on earth are you talking about? But I believe it. I believe it about music. I believe it about podcasts. You can feel the energy with which people record things if you're paying attention. Or if you're an empath who just has struggles with energy, not just finding its way into you. So anyway, this podcast episode is about grief. If you found your way here, you're probably in the middle of something heavy. Maybe your heart is cracked open in a way you did not think was possible or you did not see coming. In a way, so am I as I record this, and that's why I'm recording it. Like I said before, I feel like I got hit with some past grief mixed with current grief, and I just wanted to share that process, but also sometimes saying things out loud and sometimes putting it out there is a different kind of accountability and a different kind of processing. So let's give it a whirl and see what happens. This isn't going to be a list of ways to fix your grief. I think that we know that we don't fix it. I hope we know that. I hope we're really understanding that we don't fix grief. It's 2025. We know that it doesn't get fixed. It gets changed. But I do want to talk to you heart to heart about surviving it, to sit with it, to still be here with it while it's doing what it does. Grief feels different for everybody. It's often very physical. It can feel like your chest is caving in or that it's really tight. It can feel like a constant lump in your throat. You can feel sleepy, but the exhaustion doesn't really energize you. It can be in your stomach, which is what happens to me more often than anything. I get like a tight stomach, a sick stomach. I get sick to my stomach. I don't want to eat. I do have difficulty sleeping. You may be restless and squirrely, feeling like you just got to do something because sitting with it is so uncomfortable inside your body. And emotionally, it's not just sadness that you feel. It can be confusion, rage, guilt, relief sometimes even, right? And then there's guilt about the relief. We've got disappointment, disbelief, denial, disillusionment. I don't know why I went with the D's on that, but that's what I did. There are a lot of ways that grief expresses itself outwardly in our lives, and that's why it's so sneaky. Every now and then you see that meme that goes around that says anger or sadness or something. Good job, Vanessa. Anyway, I sat with whatever that pain was until, she told me that it was grief. And we grieve for so many different reasons. We grieve when we lose things that we want. We grieve when we lose people that we love, whether by death or by, having to choose to be without them. We grieve when we don't, when we have to leave jobs. I mean, there's so many ways that we grieve because it's loss, right? Like it's something that was there and now it's not there, right? And when we really want it to be there, we feel the depth of grief. But even when we don't want it there, oh my God, it still happens, right? Have you ever been in a relationship that you knew was like, what on earth am I doing? I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I have done this multiple times in my life, and but you still feel sad when you go because you know why you're going, you know why it's not working, you know why it has to end, but yet you're still sad about it and you're still feeling some type of way and you're still, crying and feeling and questioning and, in denial. You go through all of those emotions and you're like, but I know consciously why I'm doing this. And it's simply because there was energy being held within you and now it's not, and you have a vacuum, right? And we're just trying to fill it up with something else sometimes. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to normalize with you how inconsistent and chaotic it can be, which is my least favorite part about grief because I'm a Libra and I really love to feel balanced. So when I feel chaotic and inconsistent, I like lose it extra. I feel like when that starts to come in, I like spiral harder because I don't like how it feels. It's like I lose focus of even what I'm upset about because I start to freak out about how I feel. So just normalize. I just like it's okay if it's like all over the place. 1 hour you might be sobbing out of control. And then the next hour, because you've exhausted yourself and you've started to scroll to, distract, you'll be watching a TikTok and you're laughing. And then you feel really bad for laughing, right? Because it feels like you're not honoring your pain because you're no longer rolling around in it, right? I mean, this is the roller coaster we go through. I know that we go through a lot of people go through it. I do too, right? It's normal. You're not doing it wrong. Grief doesn't follow the rules. You're just human. We are going to feel what we feel. I mean, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't find some tools to move through it that are not toxic, right? So when I say you're not doing it wrong, I definitely mean, hey, when the emotions come, we're not going to judge them. However, our behaviors, we always have to watch our behaviors, right? Our emotions are not the problem, but our behaviors usually are. So that's what we're talking about here, right? Like, so if I'm grieving and I don't, and I start to go do horrible things to people because I feel pain and I want them to feel pain, not good, right? I'm doing it wrong in that way, behavior wise, but feelings wise, very valid for me to feel that way. So let's talk about sitting with the pain and not escaping it. Everybody's least favorite thing, my least favorite thing, sitting on the couch feeling like I'm on fire. Literally, I can remember doing this in South Carolina and being like, I a little bit feel like I'm burning. That Phoenix Rising thing, feeling way too familiar right now. I know that we want to escape that feeling, right? We want to scroll it away, drink it away. We'll keep busy. We'll keep moving. Really anything but sitting in that silence or that feeling in your body. For me, it's the feeling. Oh my God. I don't even mind the racing thoughts as much as the body feeling. It's like I gotta not feel that. I need to get it out, and it never gets out, right? Like, it doesn't matter what I do. So I want to talk about the healing power of not avoiding it, right? So if we don't let ourselves feel it, it doesn't go away. We have the illusion of it. It buries itself deeper and it shows up later in strange ways. Anxiety, burnout, disconnection. Sometimes it just erupts out of nowhere as a volcano. That's like the thing that has happened the most in my life, right? Like, is that it comes back up and all of a sudden I'm losing it about something in the past that was triggered by the present because I did not work through it. I didn't know how to grieve. I was a master avoider for the longest time. I can remember when when one of my cousins passed away. Oh God, I loved him so much. He was, I mean, I adored him. I was so young and I just couldn't cry even when my grandfather passed away, I just wanted it to stop happening. Like I was sad, but I just wanted to move through it and have it be done. And so I was, you know, wanting to go to a football game and be a cheerleader. I mean, I definitely remember that, and it was a big problem, and it is what it is. I was a teenager, but I had to escape, right? Like I wanted to run away from it, and I wanted to run to my safe place, right? Be on the sidelines in my little skirt, jumping up and down, so that I wouldn't have to feel, and I wouldn't have to let people see me feel. So yeah, those are things that have happened in my life. I also do a lot of sabotaging, and I used to do a lot of running. It was used to be that joke that I would just run, right? Just put on my running shoes. I'm out. I'll go somewhere else, whatever that means, whatever go somewhere else means. Replacing things with other things. Ugh, like it's super gross to think about, but yes. And I find it still like those coping skills want to come back around when I'm starting to feel that way. I want to make swift action come in and change the way that I feel, because I want to feel control, right? Like, so these things make me feel like I could control some outcome in my life, and that felt good. It also distracted me from the pain because I would create something fleeting that felt good, right? And then I would have to just chase a bunch of fleeting things that felt good. My goodness. Even just talking about it, I'm like, oh God, it's so cringy. It's so cringy. But even today that I battle it, little cringy. So let's talk about sitting with it gently, letting ourselves sit with it. Even if it's just 5 minutes a day where you just kind of let yourself melt. I know I was watching, I can't remember the name of it. It is a show about therapists on Apple TV. Whatever. You guys will figure it out. And the girl in it sets a timer for 10 minutes. And that's where she just cries uncontrollably for 10 minutes about the loss in her life. It's an option, right? Like you can, it seems weird. Like, oh my God, that's so unnatural. Well, sometimes it really helps us to feel like we can put it in and out of a box, not just in a box, but we get to take it out and feel it and feel like we're healing it. We whisper things like, this hurts. That it's sacred, right? Like it's healing to be able to sit with it and be like, this sucks. Yes, this sucks. Oh my God, I hate this. It's not fair. It's okay to say those things. I don't want you to try to fix the pain though. I want you to witness it. That's how we honor it, right? Like we're honoring the pain. We're honoring the relationship. We're honoring the person in our lives that we lost. We're honoring the loss of a goal that we didn't achieve. We're witnessing our own love that we had, the depth of our love, and seeing how beautiful it is. It's so deep that it hurts this much. It is actually a beautiful thing, and I'm not trying to silver lining and toxic positive this way, but that's part of witnessing it. Like meaningful things are meaningful things. So what are a few things? I'm going to try to just give you a couple things to do, gentle ways you can soothe yourself or ground yourself. For me, the air sign doesn't like to be grounded, but sometimes I really need it. We can do some breath work, a quick little exercise. Put your hand on your heart and inhale for 4 counts. You're going to hold it for 4 counts, and you're going to exhale for 6 counts. So you're going to breathe out for longer than you breathe in. And you can change that if you feel like your breath pattern needs you to change that. I want it to be, a little bit of your own, but just make sure your exhale is a bit longer than your inhale. Repeat it 5 to 10 times. It's, a way to help soothe your nervous system, how to bring it back, and your vagus nerve and all that. I highly recommend using a mantra that fits your situation as well. I often use the mantra, it won't be like this forever, but it's okay that it's like this now. I do honestly say that to myself. I also sometimes, depending on, how this grief got here, if it got here by poor decision in my own life, I use the mantra, I will never be here again. And that episode feels like an episode of my life that I was telling you about, where I was on the couch in South Carolina feeling like I was on fire. And it was definitely related to my own decisions and my own lack of following my intuition, which is part of where the grief was. I had self abandoned yet again, and it hurt, right? That I had hurt myself. And I said to myself over and over again, I'm never going to do this again. This is the last time I'm going to do this to myself. This is the last time I'm going to feel like this, because I'm going to heal whatever it is that got me here. So mantras are super great during this time. It might not solve anything, right? Like, because again, we're not trying to fix, but it helps you bring you back to your body, right? Like in the moment. I want you to cry without apology, of course. It's not weakness. Crying is your nervous system trying to regulate. There's a reason why it comes naturally to us, and it can be so difficult to choke it down, right? Like we'll be trying and it's like springing out of our eyes because the body knows exactly what to do. And it's us that's getting in the way because of all of our stupid societal BS about crying, right? About how uncomfortable it makes other people or how weak it makes us look. Like, come on, man. The body is trying to do what it does. And we're over here thinking we know better than what naturally our bodies are made to do. As a nature lover, y'all know, get outside, take your freaking shoes off. I have been walking barefoot every morning with my dog for the last, I would say, week or so, just feeling the earth. You know, you don't have to do it this way, but I do it this way where I'm like, take it out of the soles of my feet and give me something else. Like give me something else. And I feel the ground beneath me and I feel grounded and I feel like alive a little bit. You know, the grass feels amazing. So, you know, it doesn't rush the healing, but it can, you know, it can help a little bit if you let it, you know, go out in the sunshine and I feel the sun's rays and I imagine them just kind of like evaporating the bullshit in my life that I've created, you know, stuff like that. You know, get creative with it, but feel, you know, allow it to be part of your feeling and allow that intention to be moving this through my body so that I can be back to what my neutral is, that I can be back to homeostasis for me. Sometimes we like a ritual. I love certain rituals. We can light candles, you know, that's something that when I thought about it, I was like, oh, that is definitely from your Catholicism days, but it still works. I still do it quite often. I light candles for myself. I light candles for other people. You can write a letter to what you lost or about what you lost or just whatever your experience is. For me, I like to burn those too. I'm a huge burn journaler because I feel like that helps me release it. You know, I really imagine that I put all the energy into the paper of the grief and the pain and the anger and the, you know, all of it. And then I burn it and I watch it burn and I imagine it burning out of my body as well. I know that feels a little extreme, but totally works for me. It's a great ritual. You could make a music playlist that lets you feel. I often, and today was laying in the hammock listening to binaural beats. I didn't make the playlist. Thankfully, there was one on there so that I didn't have to go through the agonizing Libra process of choosing. And I let myself kind of be messy and I let the process be sacred and I let myself feel the things that were coming through. What you're doing, again, is honoring the love within you, the love of whatever it is that you lost, the love that has no place to go, the love that you feel like you don't understand what's going to take the place of it. I totally get it. And last but not least, my least favorite one, right? Like it's the hardest one for me, is letting other people be there for you. I remain difficult. It's difficult for me to do it still. You don't have to talk though. And I think that that's part of it, is that sometimes you just are letting somebody be beside you, whatever that means. Whether you're like, I'm having a rough time, I don't want to talk about it, just come here and sit with me. Or can you just come over and watch a show because your presence is wonderful in my life? That's cool, right? If somebody wants to buy you dinner, you know, I've had people send me gift cards before when I was going through it. And, it was a beautiful thing, right? Like they knew I wasn't going to accept much else, but that was their way of helping me. Um, just not have something off of my plate so that I could move through what I was going through. And yeah, you got to let people do it. Again, this one I'm not letting you off the hook for, but I can very much understand how difficult it can be because I still struggle with it. I want to talk to you a little bit about the myth of moving on also. Can we not, let's say, move through or get through? We don't really move on from it. You don't pack it up like a suitcase and go like how I move from state to state. It doesn't work like that. Like my suitcase comes with me from state to state, as I've realized in every state. Like, oh, look, cool, this is still happening, right? Like, or the same shit. When I open up my suitcase, I've got the same souvenirs in there. Good times, right? Or they've shifted a little bit. That's not fair. They've shifted a little bit. They have changed, but they're still in there, right? It doesn't go away. We just feel differently about it. I want you to think about like integration, like allowing it to be part of you, not all of you, right? Because that's what we're talking about when we allow it to consume us and we just feel like if we're not grief stricken, that we are not honoring our grief. I think that, we're not really doing integration when we're doing that, but let it be a thread that's like woven into who you are. Like it's not all of you, but it's part of you. Whatever this is that you're going through, it's part of you. And me, whatever I'm going through, which I'm not going to give you the details, but it's part of me. It's a sacred part of me that I have been working on for a really long time. And when grief shows up in that space, it's hard for me, but I'm not going to push it away. It's part of me. And each time that I go through it, it changes and it becomes a different thread. I remember once seeing a diagram about grief being like this really big ball. It was a big red ball and it was inside a square. At first, like the initial time of the grief hitting you, it took up the entire square. And the idea of that was that the square represents like your body, your feels, right? And it feels like it's pushing from the inside out, right? Like that feeling of like, oh God, it hurts, it's tight, it's ugh. But as you spend time healing, that ball like shrinks, it gets smaller. It doesn't disappear, however. So sometimes it gets jiggled and it hits one of the sides again. That's when you feel the pang that comes with remembrance, right? That changed my life. Like, as y'all know, I love a good visual, and being able to envision my grief like that truly does help me. It still happens to this day, right? Like if I get a little pang of something, I'm like, it's like the ball just hit the hit the side there, but it's, it's still in there. It always has the potential to come in and take a moment from me. But with these tools, I learn how to have it not take all the moments from me or take me to the deepest, darkest places anymore, right? Because I do understand that is me recognizing love that does not have a place to go anymore, whatever that love means. So personally, I have learned in the past year that I did a whole lot of disassociation, like until that little ball shrunk on its own, right? Like it was like when they say time heals all wounds, it was like I took that to a whole other level, like just ignore it and eventually other things will take its place, right? There were so many times, so many things I didn't grieve. I shoved down the feelings for whatever reason. Sometimes I was like embarrassed about what I was like into, or I was embarrassed to share with people how deeply I felt about something because, I've been criticized a lot in my life about certain things. So I don't want to talk to people about it. And so I would just kind of, like, I'm just going to shove that down. And I'm really skilled in creating diversions in my life to take its place. And again, like in the last year or so, I've really learned this because I lived a whole bunch of time feeling really good about my life and my healing journey until like, bam, face to face with all kinds of beliefs about my past and ways that I had not moved through the emotions of loss and specifically self-abandon. Like, smacked in the face with this recently. I still have days where I miss some things and good memories will float in to make me feel sad, but it doesn't destroy me the way that it once did. And that's because I've been moving through it. But that's how grief changes. It doesn't disappear, it softens. But it can only soften if we allow ourselves to soften it, right? Like to sit with the things I was telling you, like all this, I'm crying. I'm like, I can't believe I did this in my life. I can't believe I did this to my kid. I can't, just losing it, but it's all grief, right? Like it was grief of the loss of trust in myself. I mean, like depths, guys. I'm not even kidding. It's been a whole situation for me in the past few weeks. You see me being happy, and I am happy. And so when I say to you that it's okay if your outside doesn't look like grief and pain and rolling around, oh my God, my life is so horrible, because my life isn't horrible just because I have these things going on in them. My life overall is really great, but sometimes I just have sad things that come in and need nurturing. So I really want to make it super clear and drive this home to you that there is no real timeline on this. There's no checklist. There's just like breathing through it and one moment at a time with intention of bringing us back to center. That's all. We're just trying to come back to center. It does not take away from your grief if you come back to center. It'll still be there, right? It's that little ball that we're just tucking into this beautiful space in our heart. Like, I honor you, but you can't be all of me. I got so much other stuff to do in my life right now. And so I want to hold your hand, grief, and change going forward. So I want you to use the tools we talked about here. Keep yourself surrounded by people and things that can hold you while you move through this. And just remember, you're still here, and that matters. You're a beautiful person in this world to more people than I think you probably understand. This happens to me where people, when I start to feel crappy about myself and I get all kinds of appreciation everywhere, it makes me feel very uncomfortable, but it is a great reminder that me being here matters and that it is helpful for other people, because as who I am, that touches my heart, right? Like that, even with all the things I have done in my life and the ways that I cringe at it, people still appreciate all that I bring to the table. And they remind me of how much I bring to the table. And that's strength. Even if it doesn't feel like it, it is. So if it feels okay, and I'm going to kind of leave you with this. If it feels okay, you might want to write down, what does my grief need from me today? Or you can kind of just sit with your hand on your chest and say your chosen mantra. Really just allow yourself to feel. And you'll get through it. You'll move through it. But it won't go away. It will just soften. If there's anything that you can think about, like we're just thinking about softening the hard edges of what grief can do in our lives. Whew, Lord, y'all. That sure was a podcast not just for you, but also for me. I feel like Taylor Swift, like I'm using my personal pain to connect with others. I hope that it resonated with you, and I hope it helps you move through anything tough that you're going through right now or in the future. I love y'all, and I am sending lots of light to your hearts. Thank you for letting me be your guide today. Thanks for listening. To learn more about what I do and how to work with me, head to thepsychgym.com to check it out. Keep lifting, y'all. It's worth it.